is it outperforming expectations? Is it a group that's just ahead of schedule, or is it just a team that's simply so much deeper than last year?
I think it's a little bit of everything, to be honest with you, and we've certainly taken a step in the right direction. And it's not a perfect picture every night, but I think we've taken a step in the right direction as far as how we want to play every single night with our identity. And obviously we've added some personnel here, and our younger guys are now a year into it. So we're seeing some improvement, from Mac and Will and William Eklund as well. So I think we've taken the next step as far as playing with our identity more often, and it's led to some results. But we still have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of hockey to be played, and I think you look at obviously everyone's going to talk about the standings and where we're at, and it's just going to keep getting tougher and tougher. So we got to keep pushing individually to improve and collectively, and that's kind of been the message here.
The current group has really been complimented from the outside, or even a guy like Ty Dellandrea before the injury took a lot of steps this year. What can you say about the entire big picture in the group effort?
Yeah, it's a close group, I'll tell you that, and these guys get along off the ice. Usually you see when you hit the road is a few guys going there, a few guys going there, and a lot of times there's about 15 going together, and or 18 of them, or there's a lot of team dinners, and so that's credit to the leadership group that Toffoli, Wenberg, Barkley, Gaudreau, that have really kind of grabbed it and ran with it a little bit. But there's been definitely see some uptick in some play from some guys that we talked about earlier. And then we Mike did a really good job of bringing in high character people that are ultra competitive. Dmitry Ularov being one of them. He gives us an honest effort every single night. He lays his body on the line, and has given us some hard, heavy minutes, and a guy that we can really trust in critical situations. Mario Ferraro's played some really good hockey for us this year, and I could go up and down the roster of guys that have given us good stretches of hockey and really developed. And credit to Mike and his group to really bring in some personnel that can kind of help push this thing to the next step.
Ryan, you've talked about this season before and planning it out in advance, pacing practices, knowing when to use guys and not, just on the condensed schedule. I'm also wondering, though, there's been the preparation pre-Olympics, and you'll obviously have 4, at least, Olympians coming back, and then everybody starts kind of from scratch after 3 weeks off. That'll be unique. Is there a post-Olympics plan as well for this team to kind of make sure that you get back right on track?
Yeah, well, we have some days, so there'll be a short training camp-ish, type of identity to it, but we'll be smart about it. We can't come back in day one after being off, 16 days and thrown right into the fire with, high intensity practice. So we'll sit down with, Mike Potenza and our sports performance guys and have a pretty good plan. We kind of actually started that process already. So we have a good feel of, when we're going to skate, when we won't skate, how intense those skates will be. And we'll have a good feel for that. So we're ready to go in that, when we get back from the break.
When you throw out an optional skate, that's a collective decision among coaches, or are players involved in that?
No, it's usually the coaches. I think Toffoli will try to ask for one every once in a while.
I was going to ask how that part worked.
Yeah, it's the coaches and the sports performance guys.
Some guys might be a little bit more happier when they hear the word optional, right?
Yeah, optional or day off. Day off is like gold around here.
I get it. What has impressed you about your team that maybe you didn't see coming or you didn't expect from the start?
I think guys have had, taken steps individually, but I think the biggest thing is we've become more of a team that we have guys, playing extremely hard for one another every single night, and whether that's blocking a shot, whether that's making a play to take a hit, maybe that's a big penalty kill or a timely save by one of our goaltenders, or we saw the other night a goalie fight. So I think that's the biggest thing. There's a real care factor right now of within our dressing room of these guys really care for one another, and again, it's not perfect every single night. We're striving for perfection, and we're going to keep pushing that. But I think that's the biggest step that we've taken as far as we're starting to understand it's about the team, and if we want to continue to have success, we need guys to be about the team and obviously perform at a high level individually. But if you play for the guy next to you, that starts bringing some belief, and we're starting to have some belief right now.
Coach, we know that tandems of players aren't just templates. They don't come the same way, and they're not the same, tandems of players. But last year it was Macklin and Will, and this year, for the most part, it's been Sam Dickinson and now Michael Misa, hopefully back, playing a lot more games down the stretch. In terms of Dickinson and Misa, though, what makes them similar to last year as rookies with Mac and Will, and what makes them different, and how are you handling those two specifically this year?
Yeah, I think every player develops in their own path and in their own way and their own time, and obviously we've seen Mac this year kind of take it up another level. We've seen Smitty become more comfortable before his injury, especially. We've seen Sam here, I'd say in the last 3 weeks, take a nice step in the right direction as far as what we're asking to do is defending and stick detail, and there's some habits in his game that we're trying to work through and get to his tool set and skill set of transporting pucks and being a threat on the offensive blue line. So I think he's taken a nice step here lately. Obviously Meese going to World Juniors, and I thought he's coming off probably his best game against the Florida Panthers the other night. He's skating, his pace is there. There's some detail things, but he's really a smart kid that's picking it up, and I think he's kind of in that same mold of Smitty, where last year we saw Smitty, the game slowed down for him, and he started getting on the score sheet, and I think we're seeing that here a little bit with me. So I think everyone's taking a different path, and guys, you take one step forward and maybe a step back with the schedule and the demand. It's a hard league. It's a demanding league. It's a hard league to win in, and never mind a hard league to play in. So you got to bring it every night, mentally and physically, and I think that's something that they're learning as we go through this process and this grind, and they've done a really good job handling it.
Ryan, I know you weren't here in the years where like Ryan Reeves was on the Golden Knights, and all these fans, do what you used to do to Ryan Reeves. Go ahead. Yeah, right. Now do what you do to Ryan Reeves. It's not just the necklace, which I heard he was making, and I know he's doing the photos with it too, and I don't know about Tarps Off. We can save that for a separate chat, but what is it about him? And he really is embracing this. Like, he has bought in, and the way he came here, I don't know if he had to. Like, he certainly, nobody forced him to, but it's very genuine how he's approached this team.
Yeah, he cares. He cares about his teammates. He cares about us playing the right way. I've said it before. He's like another coach on that bench at times. Barking the orders of things where we need to do certain things in certain areas of the ice, and helping the young players, helping Zach Ostapchuk kind of find a role as that fourth D right now, and he's guided him along in the way he needs to play, and other players up and down our lineup. So he brings a lot of energy to our dressing room. He brings a personality before and after wins, during practice. The season is obviously a grind, and there's going to be days where you're grinding through it and you're exhausted, but he usually finds a way to get our guys kind of juiced up a little bit, and I think there's a lot of value to that. And on top of it, he's played some pretty good hockey. For moments at time, that fourth line was kind of our most consistent line, and kind of set an identity for us and created momentum for us. So he's done a really good job, and he's been a welcomed addition.